Did have a viewer ask me once if you could see what's inside RVs. Now, I show what's inside Winnebagos very often, but I'm over at Cassone's and there's been this Tiffin here for a while, and I won't tease you too much, but we'll take a look at it and we'll try to explain what's going on inside the RV. But we'll take a look at what happens if you hit something too hard. Alright, so this is a 2018 Tiffin Allegro Red. And this is what happens when you run into something. You get front end damage. And the cap gets destroyed. We'll take a look real fast. Here's the old cap right here that's been taken off. Now this is a fiberglass cap itself. Not much to look at. You can see it's molded fiberglass. It's in a few pieces here. Kind of like a generator. Kind of like this front door. And this has been a puzzle we're gonna have to put together. We got the steel structure. And oh, there's the Onan generator right there. So we got to rebuild that too. This is the floor at the entryway. We got to rebuild that. And here's your big reveal. Hi, Chad. So we won't discuss too much about how we get to this position. Just that we're at this position now. And we're going to see what this wall, how this is built. So over here you can see the actual structure of the wall. There's aluminum tubing. It's actually pretty thick tubing right here. You can see it's a nice picture frame all the way around. The front support is going to be steel. That's what the cap's going on to. And then you can see we have styrofoam right here. This is a structural banding, so that screws have something to grab onto when you run a screw through. Where's the screw? All right, right there. So that's what that is. It's not for any sort of framing. It's just so screws have something to grab onto. Now this is blue one. This is just industry standard paneling right there. But this is actually a true fiberglass sidewall. I don't know if you can see how thick that sidewall is. This is not Phylon. This is fiberglass. So if we look down here, this is the wall panel that was removed, so we could fix that opening right there. That's fiberglass. This is gel coat fiberglass. This is what a gel coat fiberglass roof would look like too. So you have all the layers, you have your gel coat, which is the outside, and then you have your fiberglass mat on the back. Definitely nice service access right now. We can get up on the roof and take a look. So to say this is a small project would be a very big lie. You gotta look at the roof up in here. You can see where the aluminum tape is. That's just the duct work for the AC. And you can see this roof is, all right, so it's hard to see right there. So this is gel coat fiberglass roof. You can kind of see the gel coat right there. And otherwise it's in good shape. You can see how this banding right here is just where the front cap gets mounted onto as a epoxy strip right there. So you can see what's in there. This fiberglass gets wrapped around, molding screwed on top of it. And well, the good news is the sealant's in good shape. If we were to go inside, you can see this is where we had to rebuild the step well. It's somewhat surprising because obviously when these chassis are built, it's just kind of a ladder frame all the way to the back. Tiffin actually makes the tile floor in another room all on a piece of paneling and then sets it in place after the subfloor has been installed. So this is a subfloor. I don't know if you can see right there, a piece looks like another piece of plywood on top. So they put the tile on this paneling. You use a whole bunch of suction cups to lift the whole thing off the ground, and then puts it on the subfloor that's been screwed down to the frame that they put down. And then generally they hide screws to hold the tile down inside the grout. But that's kind of boring. Oh, almost died. And that's what we're working with right now. And so in this box right here we have the color match paneling that's going to go back inside. Got a little bit extra for us. That wall panel has to go back on. And of course that front cap can't be saved. We did happen to salvage out from Kentucky a complete front cap with windshield and mirrors. So this one will be going back on. And unfortunately it's going to all have to be painted. But it doesn't really matter, because when they towed this thing in here, the tow truck driver put straps everywhere and destroyed all the paint on the side. Because you got to make sure you damage everything, right? And this side even got it worse. You can see those marks right there. And went ahead and gouged that deep into the sidewall. But you can see the fiberglass of the sidewall. So this isn't Phylon. So it's at least fiberglass repair. Just a lot of extra paint work we hadn't planned on doing. I think I threw this broken Tiffin at you guys without kind of explaining what's going on with it, because, well, I wasn't planning on actually showing this, but it's going to be my next big project. Again, I won't be, how do I put it, recording the whole thing, because this is too big of a job to set a camera up for every 5 seconds. But what had happened is somebody ran this Tiffin Red and crushed the entire front area from the cap to the generator. So the front cap got destroyed. Basically the dash got destroyed, firewall got destroyed. We've rebuilt that up to this point. Firewall and everything all brand new. The AC has all been replaced, and we've redid all the structure on the wall itself. What I didn't explain was on the sides. There was nothing wrong with the sides. This thing was pretty much brand new, and unfortunately, when this got thrown on a tow truck, so I guess whatever company decided that this was damaged so bad that it wouldn't start, because they didn't understand that the engines are in the back and the front wheels weren't damaged and the steering wheel still worked. There wasn't really any damage to the chassis side of it. It was all just pretty much cosmetic damage. When they loaded it up on the flatbed truck to tow it in, they put straps everywhere to strap it down. And did not take any care in strapping it down. That's why this wall's all destroyed, that wall's all destroyed, that side wall's all destroyed. I mean, they did not take any cares at all. So that's aluminum, it's all pitted from the straps rubbing on it. So this went from a pretty big job to begin with to a almost full body paint job at this point. So that's where we're at right now. We got that interior wall rebuilt so we can get this front cap fitted in place and get that put back in. I know we still have to get the roof going, but I had a lot of people asking me what the inside of these things look like. So let's take a look at this and see if I can explain some of what's going on. So if we were to look down right here, this is actually the chassis. So I don't know if you can see this frame right there and that frame right there. There's a ladder type chassis frame from the front to back. This is what everything's built on. Right above, I don't know if you can see all that framing. That is what is added to the actual chassis frame. So the rolling frame is fairly basic. It would take an awful lot to do any real damage to the rolling frame. The subfloor gets put on top of this frame right there. You can see these mounting bolts right there. And this is all new framing because this compartment all got destroyed too. We had to rebuild that. So that's the actual subfloor right here. If we were to go inside, so on this subfloor it's just OSB, then they put the flooring on top. The sidewalls, they get mounted, well, it's kind of hard to see again too. See this lip that it sits on? There's a sidewall resting on it. So this whole sidewall gets put on kind of in one big piece from top to bottom. And of course the roof goes on top right there. Now this is a Tiffin. So at the Tiffin factory, which isn't going to be too different from all the other ones, it's actually like a 2-floor factory. They have people working on the top and people working on the bottom at the exact same time. There's a gantry walkway on both sides. Once the box itself is built, that means the front cap is on, the rear caps are on, everything's been screwed down but not sealed. It'll just be this gray primer right there. After that it goes into the body shop, and at the body shop they're gonna literally do all the sanding and the prep work. They'll go through and paint it, so get all the paint work on it, and then after it's all been painted, then they'll actually come through and seal everything. But it's a pretty impressive process that they have there. So again, this is a true fiberglass sidewall. I think I've shown that a few times there. And this is what the front cap looks like. I don't know if you can see all this wiring. We got a lot of wiring. Big nest to put back together. That includes into this compartment here. This would be the main chassis distribution center. This is a spider box. I don't know. That's what they're called. They're called spiders. There's a lot of wiring we have to redo on this too. But I can tell you that even though these harnesses are made in a harness room, they'll just be zip tied up pretty much just like that behind the cap. So it's not quite as beautiful as you think it's going to be inside. So our next step on this, now that we got a interior wall put back in, is to kind of rebuild this ceiling. I don't know if you can see it's notched out right there. That's for the cabinetry. Cabinetry goes all the way across in the front. And then once we do that, then we can put the front cap in. Once the front cap's in, then we can actually start rebuilding this thing to make it look a lot better. I might give you guys updates, but this is not a small job for sure. And it did not take the tow truck ride very well. Well, this I think was also part of the impact when I got hit. So something flew back, hit that TV right there. But there's a lot to put back together. Should be a lot of fun. So there's kind of what's inside an RV. I mean, there's a Tiffin. I like Tiffins. They built a good product and they stand behind it, and it'll be easy to build. Well, it'll be nice to rebuild this one. At any rate, if you guys have questions, let me know. We'll probably visit this thing a few times.